This is Late Night Lee Talks TV. I'm Late Night Lee, and I talk reality TV dating shows such as Ready to Love, The Never Ever Mets, Married at First Sight, Love Island, Love is Blind, and The Ultimatum, just to name a few. So if you do enjoy watching that type of content, then please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. This is a new channel, so I do appreciate the love and support. Thank you in advance. Don't forget to like the video. And if you comment, I'll comment back and we'll start a chat. Now, I want to discuss a very new show that I thought was pretty darn good. And it's called Love Undercover. Now, this show is a dating show on Peacock. The show is new. I believe it came out in May, April or May. I'm sorry, May 9th is when it came out. So the show, I think the premise, the concept, amazing, completely different. And I feel like it can actually work. So the show is about international soccer stars, 5 international soccer stars. They're looking for love, but because they are international soccer stars in Europe and South America, I can't say South America, but Europe and Mexico, I would say. And they are looking for love, but they don't, they want someone to get to know them for who they are and not for what they do. And of course, the money that they have. So they decide to come to the U.S. Why? Because the majority of people in the U.S. do not watch soccer or, football, how they pronounce it, right? So I think it's great. It's a great concept because, yes, the majority of Americans, and I know that there are people who do, but the majority of Americans do not watch football, or I would say soccer, what we call it here. So these men can go unnoticed. So the man that they chose was Sebastian Fassi. Now, Sebastian, he is from Mexico. His father owns 3 soccer teams or soccer clubs, what they call it. So his family definitely has that money, and he's a player as well. Now, there's Marco Fabian. Now, Marco is older. He's 34, but Marco was on the cover of FIFA. Okay, he's like an Olympic winning soccer player as well. I think he won 2 World Cup. Was it 2? What is it called? Yes, he's very accomplished. He's most accomplished of them all. Then you have Ryan Babel. Ryan is 37. He's older, but he is also very much accomplished, and I believe he had a bit of a music career as well. And you have Jamie O'Hara. Jamie's 37. Jamie is a retired player, but Jamie now has like the number 1 sports, well, I would say, I guess it's focused on soccer radio show. So I would say he's kind of like on his, I guess he would be like a Stephen A. Smith in, the UK. Well, not Stephen A. Smith, like someone who actually played and then became a radio host. Then you have Lloyd Jones. Lloyd is the youngest one. He's 28. He's still currently playing. He is very, very handsome. And what I liked about this show is that you have these guys come in. They are given jobs and new identities. Like, well, no, they still use their real names, but they are given fake jobs. So Sebastian was like someone who worked in like business administration. Marco was given the title of being a restaurant manager. Ryan was supposed to be a construction worker. Jamie was supposed to be in ad sales, and Lloyd was supposed to be a strength and conditioning coach. So, well, to me, with Jamie, that would like make sense because he definitely looks athletic. He's super duper tall. He can just say, "Yeah, I'm a coach for like a basketball team" or something like that, right? So they go to LA, right? They have this huge, beautiful penthouse in LA, and they have women come to the penthouse. And what the women do is the women get to choose who they want to go on a date with. And most of the women chose Lloyd, the younger one. And then the women will have like a mixer, and sometimes you would see a woman show interest in another guy there, or another guy would show interest in the girl. So the guys, they got to see all of the girls when the girls were choosing who they wanted to be with. And, they didn't always get the girl to choose them, but they would try to holler after the girl got into the penthouse and, got to mix and mingle with all of the men. Now, I will say this. So most of these men are in their mid-30s, except for Lloyd. He was 28, but okay, so Sebastian was 31 as well. But most of the men, they were pretty much on some, I'm looking for love. So they take off their I'm sure very expensive watches, Rolexes, Philippe Pateks. They take off their expensive watches and their Balenciagas and their Gucci's and their, Christian Dior's. And they try to, wear regular clothes. So they lie to the women. They don't tell them that they're international soccer players. Oh, so Sebastian plays in Spain. Marco plays from Mexico, I believe. Ryan plays, he plays in Turkey, but he's from the Netherlands. Jamie did play in London, and Lloyd plays in London. So again, if you are an American woman, you probably 99% of us probably don't know who these men are. And I think the concept is just really, really great. So unfortunately, as the show goes on, these women are in their confessionals saying like, oh, I don't want a construction worker. But you know what? Actually, my brother, he's a construction worker. Well, he's like a foreman, the manager or so, and he makes 6 figures. So I was like, girl, the only thing about a construction worker is that they be going to work every day. They don't play with, they have to go to work every single day. It's hard for them to get time off. If they take time off, they don't get paid. And I'm sure, it's different unions and stuff, but my brother and my, father-in-law, they both have construction backgrounds, and, taking time off work is just they don't do much of that. You know what I'm saying? When my brother personally takes time off work, it's literally a weekend focused around a holiday. Okay. He's not going to take a whole week off. If he takes a whole week off, it's for Thanksgiving. So I could understand someone saying a construction worker, they're very, they don't have the option for time off like that, or for, traveling like you may be used to, but they do make good money. My father-in-law has a beautiful home, and built that home, also has land, and money ain't they ain't struggling, okay? My brother, also a construction worker in New York, he ain't struggling. He's in the union there, he ain't struggling, okay? So it was really weird that she was just a construction worker. I can't date a construction worker. And it's y'all really don't know how much money these certain professions make. It's you only think of doctors and lawyers are rich, but there are a lot of people who are making 6 figures and can very well take care of you to where you don't have to work up their regular jobs. But, when you're a gold digger, you just don't. But here's the thing. So there's one woman who said that her name was Renee. Renee was 26. Renee looked no younger than 36. And a lot of the women on the show, I think it's a dead giveaway when you are so young, because the majority of them are in their 20s. But you're so young and you're getting all these lip injections and these face fillers on top of heavy makeup. It don't look good. It don't look good. And the camera is not their friend. And to me, when you see those types of women, it's as if you can tell like they are trying to attract a certain type of man. And that man is usually rich. Now, I know some people, they may get a little stuff done here or there, but a lot of these women, they have the BBL package, the BBL, the breast implants, the lip injections, the fillers. You typically, women like that typically are trying to get chose by a rich man. It's just what it is. But I will say there were some women on there who were more so natural. A couple, okay, that were natural. And it's like, y'all should maybe focus on those women, because if she needs to get all that cosmetic work in her early 20s or mid 20s, what is going to happen as she gets older? Like, wait till you about 40 before you start doing all that stuff. Find someone who, anyway, I don't want to shame the girlies or at all, because if you feel like you need to do it, then you didn't do it. But to me, it's like, damn, you really did a full makeover from face to feet. And it's, you're so young, you're in your mid 20s. Yeah, again, women who have that, who unfortunately, it kind of gives women who get all that work done, you're looking for a rich man. And I think that's a dead giveaway. Now, Lloyd chooses a person who, well, you know what? I don't know if I should tell you guys what happened or not. So the show was probably more than likely filmed a year ago or over a year ago. So I don't believe any of these people, well, 2 couples didn't make it on the show, but 3 of them did. So the show ended with 2 men saying goodbye to the women that they chose, and 3 men asking the women to stay. Oh, so the women also had to be willing and able to move to another country. So the women, all they knew about the men was that the men were from other countries, and that if they, found love and chose to move forward with their relationship, it would either be long distance or that they would have to, choose to move to that country. And again, you had 2 people who was living in the UK, so that's not, it's a nice distance. It's a nice difference, but it's not like the end of the, super duper shocking. You had one player who was living in Turkey. So to go from, the US to Turkey and live there, okay, that's a bit different, right? So the women, they only knew that these men were from other countries, but they didn't know, of course, that they were international soccer stars who were lying about just being, regular professional working men. But all they knew was that, they would have to relocate with them. And 3 out of the 2 actually found someone. But it doesn't seem as though any of them are still together. But, I can't confirm that. One person confirmed on her IG that her and the guy split. But again, this show was definitely filmed at the very least a year ago, probably longer. And, it was a lot because some of the men were still active players. So imagine you took your only time in the off season to go film this show, and right after the show finished filming, they had to go and play again. So it's not really enough time to foster a real relationship. And then who was paying for the women's room and board? I guess the men could, but still, it was a lot, for sure. When you think about it in regards to, trying to foster a relationship right when you are about to go start playing. Y'all, this show is on Peacock. I want to say it's 10 episodes. It's actually really good. But you know what I thought was super interesting is that there were two Mexican men. And the Mexican men, they wanted white, blonde hair, blue-eyed women. And I thought, wow. So you know how as a Black woman, a lot of the stereotype is that, you know, when Black men get a little bit of money or when they become professional athletes, they date outside of their race. They date, in particularly, they date white women, or they date women who are biracial in some way, or like they'll date Latinas. Okay. So, you know, that's a huge stereotype of like Black athletes. So it's very funny to me. I found it so interesting that you had these two Mexican men who were like, my type is blonde hair, blue-eyed, white women. And it's okay. The two Mexican men, even though I thought that their English was fine, or one of them, Marco, I don't like his English was good. I mean, you can tell English is not their first language, and it's fine. But they are more comfortable speaking Spanish. Now, the show was filmed, of course, in LA. So guess what's in LA? A lot of Latino women. So you had women that came on the show who were Hispanic and who did speak Spanish. So it's weird that you had these Mexican men who both said that they preferred to speak Spanish because they did not feel like their English was great, but they did not choose to ultimately be with their Latina sisters. Like, well, I don't say sisters, it's a bad term, but you would think it would be easier for them to choose and be with another Latina. So like to me is just like, wow, like the fact that these men chose blonde hair, blue-eyed white women over women who have the same cultural experience or background and that can speak Spanish. It's just like, wow. So it's not only Black men? Interesting. So I thought the show was pretty good. It had a unique concept, but I do think that a lot of the men missed the mark. Also, a lot of the men, they didn't know what the women were saying, like, I guess in the confessionals. And some of the women really said some gold digger stuff. Like, you know, okay. So, I don't think any of the couples are really still officially together. I haven't seen anything, but I could be wrong. Again, but the show was filmed over a year ago, so the relationships could have fizzled out, and that's fine. Those things happen. But y'all, go ahead and watch Love Undercover. If you'd like, I can review in more detail. But go ahead and watch Love Undercover on Peacock. It's actually a really good watch. Yeah, comment down below if you watched it, and we'll talk about it in the chat. This is Late Night Lee Talks TV. I'm Late Night Lee, and I'm signing out.